What's going on, guys? It's Brandon back here again, and today we have the annual recap of the playoffs. 2023-24 is officially over, and so what do? At the end of each season, we recap first the season, and then once the playoffs hit, we recap the playoffs. So I've already talked about Florida's Game 7, and I've just talked about the Florida-Edmonton Stanley Cup Final. Now we're going to review the series before I get into talking about the teams that made it to the final directly. So we'll start by recapping the playoffs. So to start off the playoffs in the Western Conference, we had Dallas taking on the defending Stanley Cup champion Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas took the first 2 games of that series. Dallas took the next 3 before Vegas won Game 6. But Dallas ends up taking Game 7 as they move on and eliminate Whoa, there goes my camera. And I've got it adjusted right now, so let me see if I can get it back up. There we go. So, alright. There it is up there, so Dallas took that series in 7 games. For Winnipeg and Colorado, the one series that in the West that I predicted to go the other way. I had expected Winnipeg to win this series. Colorado, after losing Game 1, controlled the rest of the series. They had no problem taking out the Jets, who have now been eliminated in the first round. 2019, 2020 in the qualifying round. 2021, they lost in the second round. 2022... they missed the playoffs, I think, and then 2023 they were eliminated in the first round. 2024 they're eliminated in the first round. So for the Jets, what they do this offseason is going to be interesting. They already got rid of a bunch of their old guys to begin with, like Wheeler, and was gone, and Dubois was gone. They re-signed Scheifele and Hellebuck. So we'll see where this team goes. In the Pacific, we had Vancouver and Nashville. Vancouver back in the playoffs for the first time in a while. Nashville back in the playoffs for the first time after missing it for a year. 50-50 series. Vancouver's inexperience versus Nashville's, underdog. They always do well as an underdog, but Vancouver has some comebacks in this series. They kind of rehash the name Cardiac Canucks as they take this series in 6 games and they move on. And then the last one in the West, the Edmonton Oilers and the LA Kings nailed the series right off the bat. It's the one-sided rivalry. Edmonton takes the series in 5 games. And at this pace next year, they should win this series in 4 games next year, as now they've won in 7, 6, and 5. In the East, you had the Battle of Florida, the third iteration. You had 2021, where Tampa won in the first round in 6. 2022, where Tampa won in the second round in 4. Now, Florida in the first round wins in 5. So for the Panthers, they finally get past that hump, and they got to feel pretty good about themselves because that was kind of their kryptonite. They could not beat Tampa in the playoffs, and they finally do it. Speaking of kryptonites, Boston and Toronto. The one year I picked Toronto to finally overcome it, overtime, Game 7, and Boston does it again. 4 times in my lifetime, and 4 times in 11 years have the Bruins been able to knock out Toronto. Not just in knocking them out, but do it in 7 games every single time. That's more impressive than anything else. The fact that the series goes 7 every single time, and yet Boston wins every single one. In the Metropolitan Division, you had the Rangers and the Capitals. The Capitals had no business being in the playoffs. Rangers quickly swept them aside in 4 straight. And then for the Hurricanes and Islanders, Islanders had a chance to win this. I saw a very sneaky chance that they could do it, but the Hurricanes, they're heavy favorites for the Cup this year, and they take them out in 5 games. So that would conclude the first round. We had 1 6-game series, 4 5-game series, 1 sweep, and 2 7-game series. Now in the West in the second round, we had the Dallas Stars taking on the Colorado Avalanche. Historically, Dallas has taken out Colorado many times. However, in the early 2000s, Colorado kind of switched that up a bit, but in 2020, Dallas was the last time they beat Colorado. So Dallas, they do it again. They take Colorado out in 6 games, and I give credit to Dallas. This might be the first time that they've had a stronger lineup than Colorado. Colorado without Landeskog was weakened, and haven't had him for 2 years now, and it's a wonder if he'll ever be back. But still, for Colorado, they've made dismantling Winnipeg look easy, and they were in the games against Dallas. They just couldn't pull it off. Now, Vancouver and Edmonton. This was a series, an all-Canadian second-round series. For the Canucks, they were playing with house money at this point. For the Oilers, they had the cup was the only thing on their mind. And for the Oilers, they are able to get it done as they beat the Vancouver Canucks, though it wasn't easy. Vancouver takes them to 7, although they really took Vancouver to 7, as Vancouver was up 3-2, and then Oilers won 6 at home and 7 in Vancouver. So we'll see for what Vancouver can do next year. There's going to be high expectations for them, and Vancouver usually doesn't do well with high expectations. In the East, Florida and Boston, we get a rematch of the previous year where Florida was the underdog, came back from 3-1 down against the greatest regular season team of all time in the Bruins. In Florida, they do it again. This time as the favorite, they win that series in 6 games as they move on to the Eastern Conference Final for the second year in a row. For the Rangers and the Hurricanes, battle of 2 of the top teams in the league going at it, and the Rangers pull it off. The Rangers take a 3-0 series lead, and then the Hurricanes win games 4 and 5. But the Rangers take them out in 6. And close. They almost blew that 6th game. In the conference finals, Dallas and Edmonton. These two teams have played a lot over their history, and most of the time, Dallas has won. Not this time. Edmonton finally advances to their first Stanley Cup final since 2006 by defeating Dallas in 6 games. For the Panthers and the Rangers were the President's Trophy winners. You know what that means? It means they don't get to the final. It means they're cursed. Apparently, even though I don't believe in a curse at all, you just kind of have to win games. But the Florida Panthers take the series in 6 games as well, as the Rangers are left with what do we do now. But the Oilers and the Panthers were a team expected to be here. They were in the finals last year where they lost to Vegas in 5 games. For the Edmonton Oilers, it's about time. They've had the greatest players always win the Stanley Cup. This was McDavid's chance, and with Draisaitl's contract coming to an end, cap space is going to get even more limited as a truck goes down my street. But Florida wins games 1, 2, and 3. Makes it look like it's over real quick. Bobrovsky's your Conn Smythe winner. Finito. Edmonton's 8-1 victory in Game 4, and then with scoring 5 in Games 5 and 6 to force a Game 7, they become the 10th team in NHL history to come back from 3-0 down against, and 3rd time it's happened in the final. And they tried to become the 2nd team to win that Game 7, but they can't do it. Florida ends up winning that series in 7 with a 2-1 victory in Game 7. I'm just going to move this down. But in 7 games. But your Conn Smythe winner goes to Connor McDavid. McDavid, the first guy since J.S. Giguere, Jean-Sebastien Giguere, in 2003, to win the Conn Smythe on a losing team. And then first skater to win it, because it's been 4 goalies. It's been 4 goalies who've won it. Glenn Hall, Ron Hextall, J.S. Giguere, and I forgot the 4th one. But Reggie Leach from the Philadelphia Flyers in 1976 was the only other skater to win the Conn Smythe on a losing team. So that would conclude the 2023-24 playoffs. Truly a great playoffs to watch. Very entertaining. Kind of not the most predictable. It's was one like Caps were not going to win. There were some teams in here that we might have been surprised that won around. A lot of people took Tampa to beat Florida again. Some people took the Islanders to be sneaky against Carolina, Vegas to beat Dallas, Winnipeg to beat Colorado, Nashville to beat Vancouver. Don't remember seeing too many people taking LA to beat Edmonton. But overall, very exciting playoffs. And now we await next year. My question to you is, who is going to win the Stanley Cup next year? Who's going to win the Conn Smythe next year which 2 teams make it to the Stanley Cup final? Leave your thoughts down below in the comments. I want to thank you all so much for a great season. And in the summer, you got stuff to do. Draft is Friday, as well as free agency is Monday. So I shall see you all in the next one. Have a good one.